Hello. Hello, good afternoon, guys. Hello. 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 My internet connection.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I had a problem with the internet. That's why my camera.
Yeah, it seems like most people. Okay, we keep on waiting for you.
Okay,
So
thank you,
it will happen.
Benson.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are here so that we can talk about how to prepare a SIM-based lesson plan. So my camera is on, but my internet connection is very low. So I may not be seen well. Oh yeah, I'm there, but the internet is very low. Yeah, so welcome on board. I'm Godfrey Odhiambo. I teach mathematics and physics at a school called Ukunda Secondary School at Kwale. I am a FET fellow from Kenya. I am also involved in science training of teachers. I'm also a judge with the Technovation Girls, a judge technology. I also participate as a judge for Young Scientists Kenya, where I judge technology. So that is my small background. So today we want to look at how to prepare a lesson. And before we continue, there is a training that is going on. So I believe most of you have interacted with the Coursera. So maybe in a small note, can somebody, we can share our learning experience on Coursera. Yeah, you can unmute, you share with us the learning experience that you've gone. What have you seen when you're interacting with Coursera? Maybe the difficulties which are there.
Oh, well, I go into somebody on me, right? So go to Tagate.
So anyone can share with us what learning experience he has witnessed when he was interacting with the Coursera.
What's standing?
Or nobody is in Coursera? Hello? Lorna, your camera is on. Maybe you can share with us. Your microphone is on. You can share with us anything you've witnessed, maybe the experience you have. Yes. Hello. So I have a problem with internet connection, but I think we'll just go on. So anyone who has a concern on Coursera? So if there's nobody with a concern on Coursera, so we can continue. So Zach will join us in due time. So good afternoon, guys, again. So this, we want to look at a sim-based lesson plan. How do you plan a lesson when you are using a simulation as the center of learning? How to use simulation as center of learning. So we can do a small introduction, and because of time, you can put in the chat box who you are, what subject you teach, and something that is fun about yourself. The way I've told you, me, I am mostly dealing with technology. I mentor the boys and girls in secondary school, in Technovation Girls, and the Young Scientist Kenya as a judge. So that is what I have in my docket. So by the end of this session, we should be able to have interacted with the different parts of the sim-centered lesson plan, which we are using the PhET simulations. We should also be able to find help and support in designing a PhET sim lesson plan. So that is the objectives of today, and maybe there'll be question and answer session at the end of this period. So when we start the lesson plan, so there's an overview. So the overview section includes students' prerequisite skills. So the skills that students come in with, and mostly in Kenya, we call them entry behavior. What do the students know about the concepts that you're going to teach in the current lesson you're going to hold? And also in that section, we have learning goals and objectives of the lesson. Then also we have a standards alignment, if applicable. We have some questions which you want to ask the students. We have the teaching and learning materials and the time that the lesson is going to hold. Now in Kenya, mostly we have 40 minutes for a single lesson and 80 minutes for a double lesson. So this part is where we have the administrative part. So we have the students' practical knowledge, skills, learning goals, standards, key questions that you are going to ask the students, the teaching and learning materials that are involved in the class you're going to hold, and the time that you're going to take. So 40 for single lesson in Kenya, 80 for double lesson. Then there is this part called pre-lab activity. So there is this part called pre-lab activity. So this part is also a warm-up. It's an opening activity where it is just done before the lesson or at the start of the class. So the students are able to maybe engage themselves and also engage the teacher. So at this point also is where the teacher will identify the students' prior knowledge. So my internet keeps dropping, but My internet keeps dropping. Let me change the internet connection on my phone if it will work. Let's see if that will work. I think it is working. So before that, we were dealing with the open. The internet is giving me some problems. I hope it will stabilize. So I'm back. So the reason why we have a pre-lab activity is to connect the previous knowledge the student has come with the current concepts that you are going to teach in the present class that you have. So you connect the lesson that the students did previously to the current lesson. And also the pre-lab activity is to motivate the student to engage with the lesson, to connect, to make the students connect with the current lesson, to make the students to be part and parcel of the class they are holding at that moment. Then we have an open play part. So open play, especially if the students have direct access to SIMs. And this one, even if you're using a laptop and a projector only, so the laptop can be able to, you can group the students in groups of 5-5. So they come over to where you are and use your laptop, or you take the laptop. If the laptop is connected to the projector wirelessly, you can move around and take the laptop to the students as in groups. So if you're using the phone also, the students can able to share so that they can be part and parcel of the class and play with the SIM during the open play part. And we recommend open play to be about 5 to 10 minutes so that students can acquaint themselves or they can familiarize themselves with the controls of the SIM. So during open play, the teacher will describe the strategies that we'll use so that students can be able to play with the SIM, to know the controls of the SIM without the teacher directly instructing the students on what to do and when to do what to do. So an example, you are not supposed to tell the students what the controls are doing, but allow the students to explore the SIM, allow the students to play with the controls so that the students can discover by themselves. Now, at this point also, you need to connect the SIM with the learning goals. So the learning goals that you have decided to formulate, you connect them with the SIM so that they can align, so they should not be detached. Then the SIM, the open play also will allow the students to be ready for the SIM-centered activity, because the center of learning here, the source of instruction that you're going to use is the SIM itself, not any other thing. So that is open play, during open play. Then the teacher is required to have an activity sheet. And the activity sheet will include the teacher demonstrations. So that is part of the strategies that you use to teach. So we have demonstration, we have whole class inquiry method, we have concept questions. So when you interact with the Coursera, the learning part in the Coursera, you'll be able to find those 3 types of teaching and learning activities. So we have demonstrations, we have whole class inquiry, and we have concept questions. So students direct instruction with a SIM with the support of a teacher or of an activity sheet. So at this point, we have an activity sheet which the students will follow. So the activity sheet should be included at this part. Now, when you are submitting your lesson plan, you are required to also submit the activity sheet. So a sample of activity sheet, the template is attached in the learning, in the contents that you interact. So my internet keeps dropping, but it's okay. So we have said that the activity sheet should be included when you're submitting the lesson plan. And when you are making the activity sheets, you need to attach some screenshots of the SIM activity. So the certain sections of the SIM which you're going to use, you attach them to the activity sheet, in the activity sheet, and also in the lesson plan itself. Then this part of the lesson plan will help the students to formalize. So you summarize and evaluate their learning. So the teacher will be able to formalize, summarize, and evaluate the learning. So at this point, the learners are actively engaged in discussions. They are actively engaged in group discussions, in the activities that are taking place in the classroom. So the students can be able to vote. The students can be able to take a vote after a student had decided to give a point. And from there, the teacher will either confirm whether the concept that the students have learned is correct, or if it is wrong, so the teacher will be able to correct this. So the teacher should be able to describe how to close the lesson. So how is the lesson summarized? So the teacher also will make sure that the students have synthesized the ideas and reflect on how they have achieved the learning goals. So there's a reflection tool also, which I believe has been attached to in the Coursera. Reflection tool has been attached to the Coursera, so the teacher should be able to access that in the Coursera part. Then this part is also optional. So the lesson plan can describe how teachers can go beyond the activity. That is, maybe you can give students some assignments, which is also part of the learning and teaching process. So the assignment should be SIM-based. So it can include differentiated activities, and differentiated activities, the activities that students do at home, an assignment. So there is a certain part of learning called differentiated learning, where the students will be carrying an activity home, and the activity should involve a SIM. So additional activities, if the class finishes early, so if the class has finished early, so the teacher can be able to give more activity, and also the teacher can give assignments so they can extend the learning experience of the learners. So in this part, you can see which type of teaching and learning activity is more student-centered. So interactive lecture demonstration is more student-centered than the lecture method. So the teacher can decide to use whole class inquiry, interactive lecture demonstration, or concept questions. So those three, you choose one that according to you, it suits your learners. Now, during the teaching and learning process, also the teacher should be using the challenge prompts. And these ones are short questions, which helps in lesson development. And some of the challenge prompts are these ones. So example is find all the ways to increase the force of gravity. So that's a challenge prompt. So these challenge prompts will have different correct answers. So they are not just one answered questions. So the student can be able to think more. So another example of a challenge prompt is what's the largest dipole moment you can make? Create an atom with a net charge of 0. How can increasing or decreasing the current have an effect on the circuit? So another example of a challenge prompt is develop a procedure for measuring the speed of a wave. Then how do you know if the spring constant is the same? So these questions are open-ended. They have different correct answers, which the students can give. So this is one of the interactive concept questions. So this one, the teacher can use it And we had this one during our introduction part. And concept questions mostly have multiple choice answers, the way this one is given. So this is an example. So the students are asked to predict questions. So they can discuss, they vote, they share the reasoning, then they conduct an experiment to confirm if what they have learned is correct. Then there's a follow-up after that. So if anyone has a question, you can maybe bring it forward so that we can see how we can move together. So what we have just covered is the parts of a SIM-based lesson plan. Anyone who has a question? And to get more, you can go into the website itself. To get more of what I've talked about, you can just go into the website itself. So you can just go into the website itself. So designing a math activity. So let me just show you an example of an activity sheet. If I'll find one here. Let me see if I can get an example of activity sheet. Let me show you activity sheet for SETGEN. So this is an example of an activity sheet. This is an example of activity sheet. So we have learning goals, an example that SETGEN gave out. Explore how varying initial conditions affect a projectile motion. So this is an activity sheet. So we have a pre-lab activity. This is a lesson plan, not even an activity sheet. This is a lesson plan. So we have defined the range. We have materials that are needed, computer, smartphone, or tablet. The FET, that is the SIM that he chose. During open play, you have to write what you are going to do. So open play can take 5 minutes. Then the data is collected. This is an activity sheet, so there's data collection there. Then we have this part, so there's data collection. These are parts. We have post-lab activity. So use data on question 4 as reference for the following activity. So what do you conclude about the range of projectile? So these are the questions which the teacher has asked his students. So that is an example of an activity sheet that I've just shown. Let me stop sharing that. So up to there, maybe if you have a question, you can ask. Anyone with a question? Hello. Yes, Sam.
Hi, hello, Godfrey.
Yes.
Hi, hello, everyone. Yes, in Botswana, it's an afternoon. I understand some of us is morning, others is night, but I want to say hi to everyone. Maybe just to emphasize on what you have said, I just want to appreciate that at least you have polished some of the areas that were not that quite clear on me. Yes,
Yeah.
I've been using the FedSIMS for some time. At least the area of the post-lab questions, yes, you have polished it for me, which is quite awesome, which is quite good. Pre-lab activities as to how, yes, I think you have shared quite a lot with me. You have polished some areas which were not that much clear with me. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you so much, Sam. Now, to make your lesson plan or activity sheet to be more sim-based, we need to at least attach some screenshots of the sim, especially the pages that you are using, and that's good, Sam. So anybody who has a question?
Okay.
Yeah, before we conclude this.
Okay, hello.
Yes, hello, John. John, you are speaking.
John has left now.
Oh, it's okay.
I think he has left.
Yeah, he has left. So I think I wish to thank everybody for attending this, and we'll be communicating in due time. So our last meeting will be, I think, on 25th, not 25th. Our last meeting will be next month. And I think we'll be able to now look on how to implement the lesson itself. So I encourage teachers to go into Coursera, and we have everything in Coursera. So you're able to interact with everything in Coursera, and that will be a good thing. So the recording will be provided so that you can be able to also to have a view of the parts of the lesson plan itself, so that your lesson plan should be sim-based without maybe going out of the sim itself. So I thank you so much, guys. And may you wish you a nice afternoon. So in Kenya, we are in afternoon. Maybe some in Botswana, it's morning. That's okay.
Afternoon, it's afternoon.
Oh, it's afternoon, so we are almost the same. Yeah, thank you so much. Now,
an hour behind you.
Yeah. So thank you so much. So I wish you all the best. So continue learning, and we are learning together. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Godfrey.
Yeah, thank you,
Bye.
sir. George, I've just seen you. I'll send the link to the recording. Yeah.
Godfrey.
Yes, sir.
I'm so traveling.
Yeah, it's okay, sir. I'll send the link to the recording so that you can be able to catch up.
I've just joined and you are leaving the meeting, but the meeting is over.
Yeah, I'll give you the recording. Don't worry, sir.
Okay, please, may I get the recording maybe?
Yeah. That's okay, sir.
Okay, so.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.